What is the ego? The ego is a self that only exists in your mind. The ego is just a thought process with evaluating thoughts about who you are and memories about who you are. The ego is your personality. Your personality was created by your surroundings the first 7 years of your life. Others programmed your thinking and self-image about how you should think, want and behave. As others thought about you, that's become your self-image. If you had a broken childhood, you have a broken self-image. Yourself, the ego, is just a social construction. And the personality, your ego, is constantly reacting to everything, evaluating, judging, compares itself to everyone else, creates shame, guilt, hatred, resentments. The ego criticizes itself and others. The ego speaks negatively about itself and others. The ego creates a pure self-esteem, pure self-confidence. And the self constantly lives in fear of not being good enough. A self, an ego that is constantly chasing after external things that can make the ego happy. The ego is like a hungry ghost, as Buddha said. Your personality that really doesn't not exist other than a thought process up in your head, and it's not real. It's like a ghost, a hungry ghost for external happiness. We must get our ego, our social self, at the beginning of life. It does not work in any other way. The ego is our learning self. The ego must adapt to its social environment in order to survive. If you are left out, the risk is great that you will not survive, because the ego is our survival self. That was when we still lived in caves, that the social environment was very important for our survival. But today, everything is just about our own social importance and social status. We do everything to fit in and be seen and confirmed. Since the ego is not real, the ego must constantly receive confirmations every day from others that the ego is good enough in the eyes of others. When the time is right, you can leave your ego behind. But if you are not your personality, your thought process, who are you then? You are the consciousness behind your thoughts. When your thoughts fall in silence, your true self emerges, which is nothing more than pure awareness. It is very common for one to have a broken history and then become a spiritual person. But the new spiritual personality is just a new ego. Spiritual personalities fall in love with themselves, their new spiritual personality, and therefore they have very hard time to wake up. A personality, the ego, is just a thought process. A thought process cannot wake up, but one can wake up from one's thought process, which is a real awakening. When you learn to live behind your thoughts, stop reacting, evaluating, judging yourself and everything else. When you live from your true self, you are only the observer, the witness, the consciousness behind your thoughts and your broken history. Which means that you stop believing in your thoughts that constantly tell who you are. And this is the way to pure happiness, harmony. And you will disidentify yourself with your ego. Your personality will remain, but now it is an awakened personality. Where do I learn to get out of my ego and get in touch with my true self? You will learn that if you take my free meditation course on my website, insiktsmeditation.com. That is where you want to go.